all in my lane. You ain't overlooked, so get out the way. I gave you the book, I gave you the game. The boy gotta cook, the boy got a flame, Serving in the kitchen like you need, no. Plenty pitching, whipping different flavors like a bistro. Kick it, dip it, flip it, keep it hunting like a seed, no. Switching, keep it pimping every single place that he go. I got it. Lathan got the flame, Lathan got the flame. Boy, you know the name, get up out the way. Lathan got the flame, Lathan got the flame. Stay up out the kitchen if you ain't the one that's whipping, huh? Hey, yo, Lathan, man, cook them boys up something real quick, man.
What's going on, YouTube, and welcome back to my channel. Now today we got the most incredible Snickerdoodle cookies for Christmas. So we're gonna go ahead and get all our ingredients weighed up, and I'm doing this recipe in grams. So if you got a scale, go ahead and get it working. I forgot to take the eggs out a little bit early, so how we're gonna do that is we're gonna pop 2 eggs in some warm tap water and leave them for about 10 minutes, and this should bring them up to room temperature. But for softened butter, we had 230 grams of softened butter. And now we got our granulated sugar. We got 512 grams for the granulated sugar. And like I said, 2 large eggs. Once you get that sugar mixed up, weighed up, you're gonna go ahead and get our dry ingredients mixed up. And that is 360 grams of all-purpose flour, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, 2 teaspoons of cream of tartar, and 1 teaspoon of salt. And I use kosher salt. And then for our snickerdoodle topping with our cinnamon sugar, we got 50 grams of granulated sugar and 2 teaspoons of cinnamon, and that's ground cinnamon. And that's your recipe right there. Simple recipe. But get that sugar mixed up, and that's going to be your coating for the sugar cookies, which will make them snickerdoodle. And we also got 2 teaspoons of vanilla, and we got good quality vanilla. Remember, we made this vanilla here on the channel a year ago, and I'm just now starting to use it. So if you haven't seen that video, I'll link it down below. But it's the most incredible vanilla. Like, you can make this stuff from scratch, and you can give it out for gifts, or you can keep it for yourself. But this is some good vanilla. We use Madagascar vanilla beans. And also, you get to see me use the vanilla pod and get some of those vanilla beans actually into the recipe. So the stuff inside of the pod, once you set it inside of the extract, it becomes like a vanilla bean paste. So you see me squeeze some of that out of the pod, and I'm going to add that to the recipe as well. Pro tip here with your eggs, after you bring them up to room temperature, make sure you crack them in a separate bowl, and this will ensure that you have no eggshells going into your recipe. A lot of people crack the egg over the recipe and you get a shell in there. It's kind of hard to fish out. But if you so happen to get a eggshell in there, take the shell and the piece of shell that's broke off into the eggs. Well, almost like a magnet, it attract back to the shell. So if you get a shell in there, but the best way to avoid that is by cracking it in a separate bowl. But once you get that situated, go ahead and get our butter working, and it's already at room temperature, so it was no problem. And we're adding our sugar to it, and we're gonna begin to cream this. Now, the first stage in creaming the butter and sugar together, because the ratio is kind of off. I don't know why Snickerdoodle cookies is like that. Every recipe that I've found or I've worked on myself, it's always off. So I tell you, the consistency of the cream butter and sugar will be like a wet sand. So once you get that wet sand consistency, go ahead and add your eggs, and then this where you begin to whip it into its pale, light, and fluffy. But go ahead and add your eggs after you get your butter and sugar cream. Go ahead and add your eggs and your vanilla. And with my vanilla, you seen I had to take a spatula and get the vanilla beans out of the container, because we want those vanilla beans in here as well. Make these things extra incredible. So go ahead and blend that up together until this mixture is light and fluffy. It's going to be kind of like a pale color, but whip it until you see that light and fluffy kind of pale color, and that's how you know that it's actually good. But since we're using a hand mixer, I was gonna use my stand mixer, but I noticed a lot of people don't have stand mixers, so I'm working this recipe strictly with a hand mixer for you guys. But make sure you scrape the bowl, because you're going to need to scrape the bowl, because the hand mixer can only do so much. Even when you're using the stand mixer, you want to scrape the bowl, but especially when using a hand mixer. You want to make sure you scrape the bowl, just because you want everything incorporated, and you don't want it to be like butter that was untouched at the bottom of the bowl, or flour. You want to be able to work everything. All right, so we got our dry ingredients together, and like I said, we mixed all those dry ingredients together, and we're going to sift them. You can not sift, but sifting, you automatically, it guarantees you that you get a great cookie. So I highly suggest sifting. And you don't have to have a sifter. You can use a strainer like I did, just sift it through it. But go ahead and get that flour mixture worked into the wet mixture. So get the dry mixture worked into the wet mixture, and I'm just working it with my spatula because I got a small bowl here, and just try to get it incorporated before I turned on the mixer so all my flour wouldn't blow out. But go ahead and get it working, and notice I put the flour in thirds. So I'll put the first half in there, and now we're going to add the second half, and I'm doing this to get everything incorporated into the dough fairly easy, but it all comes together. If you would put all that in there at once, it would have looked like it was extremely dry, and it would have been hard to work it, and then you would have been working your hand mixer too much. You want to kind of give your tools a helping hand, because these things are only going to last how long you treat them. So once we add in our second mixture, we got that incorporated, and we add in our third mixture. Like I said, we added in thirds and get everything incorporated well. And once you do that, you see everything starts to come together fairly decent. And also, you want to make sure you scrape down the bowl with the spatula in between mixes as well. Like I said, just to make sure everything is combined and everything is mixed up. So just take your time with this dough. But when you get to this point, you don't want to over mix it, because like I said, you got that flour in there, and if you over mix it, you're going to activate that gluten a whole lot. But the good thing about these cookies are you're going to let them rest, so that gluten is going to be able to settle down. Because if you was to bake these like right after mixing, they're going to fall apart because of the sugar is out of whack, and then the gluten, it'll make them really tough, and you don't want those no tough cookies. But once we get everything mixed in and all the flour in there combined, just go ahead and scrape the bowl again. Just make sure everything is well incorporated, and then we could begin to section these out in cookies. Now I got like a 3-ounce ice cream scoop, and that's because I wanted really large cookies, but you can make them 2 ounces. I probably wouldn't make them 1 ounce because those are some small cookies, but I got 3-ounce balls here. And once I get them all measured out into cookies, I'm actually going to take and pop them in the fridge and let them chill for at least 2 hours. You can go overnight if you wanted to, but they need to chill and be set. You need to relax that gluten as well as letting that butter firm back up, and that'll ensure that you got a more tender and chewy cookie. All right, after 2 hours, we pop them out of the fridge, and we're going to go ahead and begin to make these into Snickerdoodles. So we're about to turn these amazing sugar cookies into the most incredible Snickerdoodle cookies. And you're just going to roll that cookie into that cinnamon sugar, get it all coated on all sides. Like I said, this is the most amazing cookie. Anytime Christmas time come around, Snickerdoodles are just one of those cookies that I just automatically crave during this time of season. And Santa love them sugar cookies, man. Last year we made the caramel macchiato chocolate chip cookies. This year we're making the Snickerdoodles. So once you get those all snickerdoodled up, you could take and freeze some however you like it, but I'm only going to cook 2 for you guys for this recipe. But I took the other half and froze them, and this recipe made about, I want to say it made about 24 cookies, because I had 2 trays exactly like that. So we made about 24 cookies out of that recipe, and those are 3 ounces a piece. So just imagine if you made them 2 ounces, you have a lot of cookies on hand. But go ahead and pop them in the oven, and we got a silicone baking mat, and I'm popping them into a 350-degree oven for 10 to 12 minutes. And I didn't use the fan, so I didn't use convection, because I know a lot of people don't have convection mode. So I didn't use the fan, so 10 to 12 minutes. at a 350-degree oven. And then once we let them cool a little bit on that silicone mat, I popped them on a wire rack just to let them cool completely. Look at those cookies. Oh my goodness, they're so amazing. And you could have dosed them more in the cinnamon sugar. You see mine's kind of look like it's spots that need cinnamon sugar, but these things are extremely sweet, and you can pop them in there to get more color on them, but you really don't need them because they taste incredible. And there you have it, man, the most amazing Snickerdoodle cookies for Christmas time. I got this recipe out for you guys in time for Christmas, so kids can make these for Christmas. But yeah, man, it's just a great recipe that I grew up on, a great cookie that I grew up on. That's like one of those cookies that you need for the Christmas time, man. And Santa, like I said, Santa loves Snickerdoodle cookies. Mrs. Claus loves Snickerdoodle cookies. The elves love Snickerdoodle cookies. So, man, I love Snickerdoodle cookies. My family loves Snickerdoodle cookies. So yeah, man, there you have it, man. The most incredible Snickerdoodle cookies just in time for Christmas, man. I want to thank you guys for checking out my channel. Shout out to all the new subscribers, man. Oh my goodness, man. I can't thank you guys enough for coming to the channel, turning my videos up, man. You guys are awesome. Y'all amazing. And just stay on this journey with me, man. It's going to be a real good, fun, incredible journey. But thank you guys for checking out this recipe, man. The most incredible Snickerdoodle cookies just in time for Christmas from the bistro. I'm Chef Cornelius, man. I holler at you guys on the flip side. I'm out.